Forget what the magazines are telling you. According to a new study, the secret to better sex and a more fulfilling relationship is tied to how you care for your children. Joining us now to discuss is the Balance columnist, Katie Hill. All right, Katie, you're telling us about, I believe this is a Georgia State survey.
Yeah, Georgia
right?
State University. It looked at 487 heterosexual couples, and it looked at how they divided up childcare. What's interesting to me is they found that egalitarian relationships, where men and the woman really, share childcare pretty equally, they have better sex, more sex, and happier relationships, which really flies in the face of a lot of research in the past that said, nope, when women do more, everyone's happier.
Right, and why is that? Why do you think that this study now is coming out with results that are so different from what we've seen in the past?
The researchers really said they thought, well, first of all, a lot of these older studies used older data sets. So even though they were newer studies, they used older data sets. And they said, things really just are changing,
right,
and people want more egalitarian relationships. And so when they get them, they're actually happier in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Now, one question that comes to mind is how many truly egalitarian households are there?
Tears in my eyes. No, there's not that many. Really, when you look at, a bunch of research, Pew is one of the new ones, but women usually do about twice as much childcare and twice as much housework as do men. Now, to be fair, men do a lot more paid labor, but still, there's not egalitarian households. There's just not that many of them when you look at it on average. So, yeah, although this is great news for people who have them, when you don't, not so good.
And one of the things I think was interesting is when they sort of broke down the way the partners saw the relationships.
Right, right. So what was interesting?
Men on Mars, Venus, or whatever,
That's exactly what this sort of showed.
Right.
It was surprising to me that you're absolutely right. Like when women did most of the childcare, those were the unhappiest relationships. And when the dad was the one who did most of the childcare, there wasn't much difference in the relationship, which really was the most shocking thing of all in this survey to me.
And then do we have numbers on how many full-time at-home dads there are?
Not many, and I don't have numbers in front of me, but it's still small, but it's growing. So it's teeny tiny still, but it's really growing. So this is interesting to me because of that. Like, we're going to see dads doing this, and maybe this won't have maybe it's going to have a positive impact on the relationship, really.
So how many wives are going to wave this survey in front of their husbands and say,
Me, I'm like, take care of this baby.
Stop complaining about the laundry. Stop complaining about the dishes.
Yeah. I think plenty. But you know what? There's still a lot of research out there. This is just one study. But yeah, I think this is good news. Try to share equally. That's not such a bad thing.
That is not such a bad thing at all. All right, Katie, good report.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.